Hi, this is Katie Weeks, your independent, close to my heart maker, and today I'm here to share with you card number 2 for my Stamp of the Month card kit, and it's featuring the bee's knees. And I am going to start with some intense black ink, and this is the one that I can use when I want to use some watercoloring or different types of mediums to color my image. And I'm going to stamp that big bee image on white daisy cardstock, and I'm going to stamp it a couple times just to get a really good impression. And so the first card that I did was part of a collaboration for the Stamp of the Month, and I'm actually going to make a playlist this month so you can find all of them. Okay, here at the top I'm using my Archival black ink. I'm not going to do any coloring. This is just simply a sentiment, and I really like how that black Archival ink stamps. And I'm stamping it on some of our mix-in papers, and I want to make sure I clean up where I got the extra ink so I don't transfer that onto my paper. And so I'm stamping the sentiment. It says, "You're the bee's knees," and I'm stamping it in the lower left-hand corner of the paper, but it's on the top right the way I have it positioned in my Misti, just so I can stamp both of them and have them prepped and ready to go. Okay, and here I have my white card base, and I'm going to adhere another piece of the mix-in paper pack. It has the toffee paper with the white polka dots on it. I just love that print. You're going to see it featured a couple spots here on this card. And then I'm going to put my sentiment square at the top. And if you place a $50 order this month on my website or with me personally, and then you get that Stamp of the Month for $5, you will get a 3-card pre-cut kit. So all of these pieces are pre-cut for you. Okay, here I'm taking another piece of that mix-in, and on 3 different squares I am going to score 2 sides of the square. So I saw a video by Jana Eubank, and she had a background paper that had triangles on it, and she cut 2 sides of the triangle and then folded them back to reveal the other side of the paper, and I absolutely loved how that looked. And I thought, I think I want to use just a tiny bit of that on my card. So I'm doing it on 3 spots on this little strip of mix-in paper, and I'll have it at the bottom of my card. And I'm using a metal ruler because that way, number one, I won't slice it. If I had a plastic ruler, I have been known to slice into the ruler before. And I just like how it gives me the clean, crisp edge. I'm also using that ruler to help me score and bend back those little triangles. And then I'm going to put one of the mini 3D foam glue dots underneath each of those folded triangles that come back. It'll give it just a tiny bit of a dimension. Probably hard for you to tell on the video, but it gives a nice pop when you're looking at the physical card in person. So I'm folding back those 3 spots. You know how we do things in 3s or in odd numbers just to make it visually appealing. I thought that worked really well on this piece of paper, and I'm going to do that to all 3, and then I'm going to put this piece at the bottom of my card underneath that sentiment squared that was already on it. Now you'll notice the reverse of this paper is that toffee print with the white polka dots, and I'm putting it over top of the same print. So what you will see coming through will be the peekaboo triangles will be the same thing that's on the folded down squares or triangles. So it will look like a full square with some dimension. Isn't that adorable? So thank you, Jana Eubank, for that great tip. Next, I'm going to take my honey butter ink pad and that tiny little honeycomb and just stamp it 3 times in the corner of my envelope and on the inside of my card. And I think that gives a nice little touch to the inside of the card. And then I'm also going to find I think, mini foam applicator, and I'm going to just put on a little bit of honey butter, shade that behind the honeycomb, both on the inside of the card, clean up my spot, and do it to the corner of the envelope too. It just gives a little bit of something on each of those spots so they're not plain. Okay, back to the bee image. I always like to stamp my image first and then let that ink dry really well and just kind of settle into the paper. And so then I come back, and the last thing I usually do is color my image. You can color this with whatever you want. You can watercolor it with paint. You can watercolor it with ink from your stamp pads when you squeeze the pad together and have ink on the inside of the ink pad, and you use a water brush. You can color it with your colored pencils. You can color with your tri-blend markers. Whatever you would like would be perfectly fine. I chose to color mine with the shimmer brush, and I know I did shimmer brush on the last card too. I just can't get enough of this bee with shimmer brush flowers on the image. I just think it is so beautiful. So I'm going to start with the sage shimmer brush and do all the leaves, and then I came in with the wisteria, and I did those bigger flowers with the 5 petals, the bigger petals, with the wisteria. And then I think I'm coming in with the bluebell, if I remember correctly, and I did some of the smaller flowers that have multiple petals. Some of them have 5, some of them have more than that. I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like 8 petals maybe. So you can color them however you want. I tried to keep similar flowers with the same color of shimmer brush. And then I came in with the lemonade, and I'm going to do some of those smallest flowers that look like a side view with the 3 petals. And I did that in the lemonade. It just gives a little touch of the lemonade. And I will come back later after I cut the whole image out and do the body, those stripes on the bee with the lemonade. I actually did the whole lower body so that it all sparkled with the lemonade. So then I just fussy cut the bee. I cut out part of this footage of the coloring and the cutting just because it took a long time, even when I sped it up. But I just cut that out quickly, and it was just kind of quick and easy to do. Sometimes I didn't have my non-stick scissors, which shouldn't have made a difference, but honestly, those are the ones I'm used to using, and I go through a lot faster when I have those. So here I'm coloring in the body of the bee. I did the whole thing, even the black stripes, just so they would shimmer. And then I'm going to, once it's dry, I kind of waited a second, and then I flipped it over and I put the 3D foam dots, the small ones, underneath each of the wings. So you're going to get 9 foam dots in your kits. 3 go underneath those triangles that are flipped over, and then 3 goes on each wing. And then I just put adhesive on the body of the bee so that only the wings are popped up when I apply it to the front of the card. And I just love things with dimension. I think it gives a really nice presentation when somebody receives the card and they can set it up on their mantle or a bookshelf. I just like the dimension and how it looks on it. So there you go. That's my second card for the card of the month. And I hope if you've enjoyed this, you will give my video a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and welcome to my newest subscribers that have came along the last couple of weeks. I appreciate you subscribing. Turn on that bell for the notifications so you know every time I upload a crafty video. Feel free to leave a sweet comment and even share this with your crafty friends. Have a great day.